Well, hello, hello. Welcome to WitchLab Wednesday Live. I'm your host, Tiffany Boggins, and today is 4/20, 2022. So 4/20, we'll talk about that later. I have some comments. Let's see. Where's my notes? Where'd they go? Hold on. Buddy, freeze. There they are. All right. So, right. Today's 4/20. I said that. I'm not enjoying 4/20. Shut up. I'm fine. Shut up. Just nervous, like always. So today, my guest is Bree NicGarran. She is an author and podcaster. She's the host of Hex Positive. Very excited to speak with her. She has a fantastic voice. You're gonna like her. She'll be on in a bit. So, thanks for being here, guys. It was nice to see you at the last one too, at the Jason Miller. That was fun. Hey, Jean, Sarah, Christina. What's up, guys? So I have new lights set up behind me. It's kind of interesting. I changed slightly. So it's really blue back there, but I kind of like it. But check it out, guys. Guess what I can do? I can change it. All right, so check this out. Maybe I can make it. No? Come on, you're making me look stupid. There we go. Ooh, right? So there's red. Hey, Betty. Hey, Susie. Okay, so there's red. And then that's sort of like a light green. That's green, which I guess on the red wall is not so great. But that was the blue that I had before. I don't know. What do you guys like? What do you think? This is like a pink. All right. It is pretty cool. That one's not bad. We'll try that one tonight. What do you think? Or is it, yep. All right. Jean says red. Sweet. Let's do this. That'll be fun. You can also make it so that it like slowly changes. It's called like it's like a different, like a cloud moving almost. It's neat. Okay. So yeah, upgrades, guys. Huh? What do you think? Happy tax day. Happy surviving tax day, everybody. My God. I don't know about you, but it was really stressful for me. And I think that's why we get 4/20 after tax day, so that you can relax after that. Bullshit, stress fuck. Hey, tax day. So yeah, and trying to relax, thinking about things like shadow work. It's ridiculous. I want to relax, right? But then like Brene Brown has a new show on HBO, maybe Atlas of the Heart, and she's all about talking about feelings and the acceptance of things and the badness of shame. And I love her so much. And so I sat and I watched the first episode. I thought it was really great. And then I'm sitting and then I go and read like a chapter of like, I'm researching Homecoming, which is John Bradshaw, I think. And he talks about inner child work, and that's a big part of shadow work. So, I'm like kind of, overlapping my research. Wow. So I overlapped that before bedtime last night. I watched the Brene Brown thing, and then I read a thing from one of the beginning chapters of John Bradshaw, talking about childhood trauma and how it affects us and how you have to heal that and stuff. And I had a crazy dream that included Bert and Ernie, like as people, like they were in a restaurant and I was there to watch them. And then like they were like a couple, and they were like as tall as regular people, but with the Muppet heads. And they got up and walked down the street, and it was my job to go out and follow them. Yeah. So inner child work, shadow work. That's, maybe they're my guides. I do love them. Okay. Upcoming stuff real quick. Back to my list. Okay. As you know, the monthly meetings, Circle of the Dark Mother, this month, always on the first, it's always on the first Sunday of the month, but this month they're talking about tool building, which is very cool, magical tool building. And that's always free. And you can find that on the WitchLab Facebook page. Just go to our events, and it's, Circle of the Dark Mother. And WitchLab Book Club this month. So this month's book club, it's always the last Sunday of the month. If you want to try to catch up real quick, it's Amy Blackthorne's Protection Magic. And then if you want to get a jump on May, that is Year of the Witch by Temperance Alden. And June's is Intuitive Witchcraft by Estrella Taylor. So, yeah, that's, and as usual, I'm just going to copy and paste this link to that if you're interested. It's a lot easier than having to spell it out to you. Cultum Librorum takes a lot of letters. All right. So, what else is coming up? Let's see. I have guests coming, that's for sure. May 11th, Judica Ellis will be back on the show talking about her new book, Pure Magic. Sorry, gotta turn off my phone. And we'll also be talking about her class that's coming up May 15th, which is spellcasting. So, and that's going to be online, hosted through WitchLab. June 2nd through August 4th, Najah Lightfoot is teaching a 5-course class on basically on her book, Good Juju. Let's see, Melissa Madera of Catland in New York City. She will be giving a talk on The Witch's Feast, a history of kitchen witchcraft. And I know she just released a book and I can't remember what it's called. And I should have done my homework, and I'm sorry, Melissa, but there's a new book by Melissa Madera. It's about cooking. It's cool. August 24th, Matt Oren will be joining us to talk about his new book, Mastering Magic, a course in spellcasting for the Psychic Witch, as a follow-up to his last book, Psychic Witch, which is a fantastic book. All right. I think that's all we're going to talk about. We're going to be at Hell City next month in May here in Columbus, the big tattoo thing. So you can see WitchLab at Hell City in May, Charm Fest in June, and then Dark Market October 22nd, 23rd. Okay, that is the end of what I'm going to tell you about stuff that is coming up. Oh yeah, and Jean says you must, if you're going to join the book club, that's awesome, but you have to answer the questions, otherwise they can't prove you. So just answer the dang old questions. They're not hard. Unless you're a robot. That's what we're trying to keep out. Robots. Anyway. Let's get our guest out here, shall we? We've made her wait long enough. She is the author of 3 books, including Grove Daughter Witchery, The Sisters Grimoire, which I fucking love, and then Pesselwork, I believe, is the 3rd one. I didn't bring it home because I'm a slacker, but she's also the host of the Hex Positive podcast, and again, damn fine voice. Folks, allow me to introduce Bree NicGarran.
Hello, how are you?
Thank you for coming. Thank you for being on the show.
Well, thank you for having me. I'm so happy to be here.
Yay, awesome. So yeah, I don't know anything about you, so I'm going to start off with some rapid fire game show type get to know you questions. You ready?
Bring it.
Bree, where are you from?
I'm originally from Bucks County, Pennsylvania, and these days I live near Tidewater, Virginia.
Okay, excellent. What kind of activities do you enjoy?
Safe for work or not safe for work? Apart well, I really love listening to podcasts. I really enjoy reading. I do a lot of crochet in my spare time, especially in cold weather, and I love to cook.
Excellent. We'll get into the other things later. What's your favorite color? Oh, wait, I forgot to flip my card. Ooh. What's your favorite color?
It's purple.
Beautiful. I can change this if you want.
Oh, no, it looks lovely. Yeah, it matches beautifully.
Okay. Favorite place to make whoopee? Oh, nope, just kidding. You don't answer that. Wrong game show. Okay, so.
Well, actually, there's a campground up in Pennsylvania.
I love it when it's going to be that kind of show. Yeah. Mm-hmm. All right. Do you hear that, friend? She's fun, friends. She's fun. We're going to have fun. Hey, Michelle. Good to see you. All right.
Hi, Penny. Sit down.
I have real questions for you now.
Those sounded real.
They were just kind of loosening up questions, though. Okay. So get to know you stuff. Like, how long have you been a witch? How long have you been practicing? When did you find it? How old were you?
Well, I've always had sort of an interest in, like, if not witchcraft itself, then magic of some kind. I was always the kid who was reading like the fantasy books in the library at school. And I came to occult interests as a teenager, as so many of us do. it was right around the late 90s. It was like the heyday of the second wave of the New Age movement.
Mhm.
So, like, Charmed and Buffy and, all of these movies, The Craft and Practical Magic, favorites of mine to this day. I don't care what anyone says. All of this was coming out around that time, and it really piqued my interest. And then in my early 20s, when I was able to, sort of get out on my own and start uh, building my own life and my own philosophies, I was like, the stuff I was raised with just doesn't fit me anymore. What about this thing that I've been interested in for so long? Why not give that a shot? And I was studying natural medicine, herbal medicine at the time, and someone handed me a copy of Cunningham's Encyclopedia of Magical Herbs, and I haven't looked
Ah,
back. So it's almost 20 years now. It's been a while.
that's excellent. And so 20 years, and you've done a lot in that time. My Lord.
Most of it has been in the second half, I think.
Well,
I
that's
s- I spent
totally fair.
Yeah, I spent the first like good chunk of it just like trying to figure stuff out. Um, because I was working alone
Hmm.
without a community,
Hmm.
and I was just
Yeah,
basically
there wasn't
working
much in
from
Bucks County, Pennsylvania.
uh not really. Um, well, there's New Hope, which is very nearby. And that's sort of the
New Hope is
witchy, but
fantastic. It's an oasis,
it
man.
is. It's the witchy mecca of the area, but it's also like the gathering place for like all the queer people, so it's really fabulous. Found a lot of parts of myself there. Didn't realize it till later, but
Fair enough. Fair
yeah,
enough.
yep. But
Self-realization, it's a whole path, man.
yeah, it planted the seeds for ideas that took root and later flowered, and they have made my life better. So yeah, but
That's
I had to take the first few years to really like figure out what I was doing. Um, Things got better once I started talking to people online and realizing, oh shoot, there's actual like codes of conduct and crap here. I should really pay attention. So after
You
lots of
stumble
research,
into a dark room. As you
yeah.
illuminate, you get better.
Oh yeah. So then after lots of research, I came around to sort of being a volunteer educator, which is something that's chased me my whole life. Um, and then after publishing a few books, the first of which was a surprise, um, as so many children are, uh, we had lockdown, and I started a podcast, and here we are.
Talk about that. Talk about your first accidental child. How did that seed happen?
Oh boy, growth daughter
Explain to
witchery.
me in great detail how the seed was implanted for your first baby. I'm just kidding.
uh Well, when a witch and her research library love each other very much,
Oh,
it was very romantic. There was candlelight and wine, and no. Well, I had actually written the Sisters Grimoire, the first edition of that, with a co-author a couple of years beforehand. I think I want to say 2015,
okay.
and that was good, but it wasn't everything that I had really hoped it would be. And luckily, after we parted ways very amicably, Anna said, yeah, take the book and make of it what you will. So I republished it. But Grove Daughter Witchery was my first solo book. That's the one I call the accidental book.
Okay.
Um,
Okay.
so leave us turn back the clock to 2016. I had just I had just moved to Virginia a few years before. I was working a satellite job, and I was like a month away from getting married.
Congratulations.
Yeah, I moved down here for a man, and he made it worth my while.
That's a good story. I like that story.
actually how we got together is a really good story. We'll get to that later.
Okay.
You'll love it. It's witchy. So I got notice from my job. They're like, "Well, we're terminating all of our satellite contracts. So what we need you to do in the next 4 weeks is pack up everything you're doing, move back here to Pennsylvania, and start coming into the office full time." And I was like, "Y'all do realize I'm getting married in 2 weeks, right? It's not happening. It's not happening." So I quit. And uh, as part of the severance package and everything, I had unemployment, thank goodness. And that November, we got married in October. It was lovely. And so that November, I'm sitting around. I'm like, I have nothing to do with my day to day anymore. I don't quite know, what to do with myself while he's at work. Puttering around the place. Like, what do I do? So,
And what year was this?
this was November of 2016.
Okay. Okay.
So I was like, well, it's National Novel Writing Month, and I've always wanted to. So
And I love holidays.
exactly, it's like, why the heck not? I'll give this a go, and I'll see, if it works. It didn't work. The story just wasn't going the way I wanted. I couldn't make it work. It was frustrating. So I was like, screw this. I'll reach into my prompts folder. I will look at everything else I have saved from all the questions I've answered, all of the notes and articles I've written, because I had been blogging on Tumblr with the Tumblr witch community. Love you guys. Uh, for quite some time by that point. So I go through my folder for all of that stuff, and I'm like, well, damn, there's a lot here. Hmm. Just just for shits and giggles, let's put this in a Word document and see how much material in 95 pages. Okay, so we're doing this.
I'm 95
And
pages into a book. What am I going to do? Not do it?
yeah,
Well,
and
yeah.
a whole lot of caffeine, and about 3 months later, da da da, first solo book. Yay!
So the pestle one, where does that fit into the lineage?
Ah, well, after I did Grove Daughter, I redid Sister's Grimoire. I put up the second edition of that. That just had all of my material. That was the thing. It was like, okay, we'll part ways. You can keep all of your work. I'll keep all of mine. It's all good.
Right on.
Yeah. So I took all of the material I had written for the book. And honestly, I hope Anna republishes hers sometime because it was really good. Um, and then I wrote more stuff to sort of fill out the rest,
Right on.
and published second edition of the grimoire. And I was like, well, I kind of want to do another one. You, I've got two. I really would love three. The first two were so good. That trap. So
I have 3 kids. I fell for that trap.
you know, I have no kids, but I have 2 cats, and that's why we have two. But Havoc was so good. Penny. Crazy thing. So so later that summer I was like, well, what the heck, I'll put together, you know, some of the recipes and potions and powders and things I've made over the years, and that ended up being enough for a much smaller book, but one that is very dear to my heart. I love my little pestle work. That's why it's purple, because it's actually my favorite besides Grove
And
Daughter.
so is it more like a formulary then, where it's just a lot
Yeah,
of
yeah,
formulas?
it is. Hmm. It's really it's sort of a formulary, but also a recipe book. Um, there's I think it's 200 and some recipes that are in there. It's like half powders and then half oils.
Okay. Okay.
Um,
Cool.
yeah.
Like I said, I haven't gotten to look at that one yet. Been a busy time. Um, so when I was looking through the Sisters Grimoire, it's
Mhm.
I love all of the the parts where we talk about first the little piece of the story, and then what you get into with it. I love them. They're
Thank
really
you.
fun. So and so this was the one that was like you and your friend did it together?
Yes. Originally, I co-wrote a slightly different version of the book with Anna
Okay.
Zollinger.
Okay, that's what
Um,
the last name is. Sorry. It was Anna.
yeah, yeah, that's Anna. And basically it was sort of a concurrent thing where we had both had a similar idea right around the same time.
So common. It's
Yeah,
crazy.
yeah, and we were mutuals, so it was like, yeah, let's do this.
Mhm.
Let's see if we can make something of this. The first version was a little bit wonky. We forgot to format it down to like a reasonable size, so it was just 8.5 by 11. It was a workbook. Um, but it was
Silly.
cool, and she did the artwork for the cover, which she graciously allowed me to continue using,
Yeah, it's
which is it's
beautiful.
lovely. I love it. I love it. I just think it's gorgeous. I want it framed somewhere. It's beautiful.
Oh, that's so pretty.
Yeah.
It's gorgeous.
Mm-hmm. Yep. But the Sisters Grimoire idea was actually, um, like so many good projects, was born entirely out of spite.
Okay.
I like I said, I've always been interested in sort of magic and fantasy. I've always loved folklore and fairy tales. Like you could always find me in the library, just in that
Mhm.
section, just kind of curled up with a stack this tall. Um, so I had brought home a book from my local library called Fairy Tale Rituals by Kenny Klein. And
Dorothy Smith says there's my favorite sassy witch.
hi, hi, sweetie. Just big fan of the podcast.
Yay.
Um, so yeah, I brought that book home, and it certainly was about fairy tale spells, but something about it was hinky. And then I look the guy up, and it's like, oh, arrested for child pornography. Great.
Oh, what the fuck?
Mm-hmm.
Oh my God.
Yeah,
Oh my
yeah.
God.
So I'm like, oh, so that's why this all sounded really, really gross. Like really gross.
Yeah. Why are my alarms going off? Oh, well.
Ooh, yeah, something about this whole talk about, prepubescent girls being more magical because they haven't lost their eggs yet is raising a red flag. I wonder why.
Oh God.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, after a very large glass of wine, I was like, you know what? This this doesn't seem right. I returned the book to the library. I included a note just to let them know, like, hey, maybe pull this one. And I was like, no, yes, you're exactly right, Dorothy. That is exactly why I always tell everyone to do their homework because it's important and context matters so much. Oh boy.
No
I,
kidding.
yeah, I found all that out and I was like, you know what? Damn it. This is such a great concept. And this can't be the only representation of it that exists in the witchcraft community. We deserve better. And if it doesn't exist, I'm going to create it. So I did, with the help of a friend. And then later, again, on my own.
It's a whole ride. Uh,
Yeah,
so did the podcast come first or second? When did that show up?
that's very recent. Like so many of us during the great lockdown of 2020, I started a podcast. Um, it's a
Season 3.
fabulous way to spend your spare time. Um, I also play racquetball. No, I don't. Uh,
I
but I
want to
love
play
movie
racquetball so
references.
bad. There's no racquetball courts around me. I need one. I'm not kidding either. Not at all. Not even a little bit. I've been telling my
That's
friends I
fabulous.
need a fucking racquetball club. So when you said that, I was like, yeah, yes, I need to. Okay. Anyway.
So yeah, it was something I had been sort of toying with the idea with for a really long time. Um, the Tumblr witch community had always been super duper encouraging. From even when I started just answering questions of people, and then later when I published my books, they really helped me get my jump start, and they've supported me the whole way through. They're just the most wonderful bunch of people, and I love
That's
them all.
awesome.
I wouldn't be where I am without them. So
Man, support
love you
is
guys.
so important.
hmm And I'd been, I really, really love like fun, informative, especially history-based podcast. Lore is one of my favorites.
Oh,
Yes.
Aaron
Samuel,
Magney. Mm.
yes. Samuel Hume's History of Witchcraft podcast is amazing. Uh, there was another one that I was just thinking of, and it's going right out of my head. Historical Blindness.
Oh,
Wonderful, wonderful
oh.
podcast that digs into stuff that it's like you think you know about it, but you don't. Just great. And I had also been listening to a
I forgot to get announcement.
wonderful
Hold on.
show.
Historical blend. Hold on. Hold on.
Should I just put all this in the chat?
You totally can, but you know what? It's really hard for me later. Like it's hard for me to go back and look at the chat because it just won't let me look at it. I gotta watch the whole show. This is irritating.
No worries.
Historical blindness, but you can put anything in your chat that you want for sure. Dirty jokes, weird pictures.
Don't you tempt me.
Oh, challenge.
I always tell people if you like my sense of humor, you can blame my father.
Oh yeah?
Oh
Is
yeah.
he a dad joke guy, a dirty joke guy? Like
yes.
Perfect.
Raised me on a steady diet of Abbott and Costello and Benny Hill.
Oh
and Mel Brooks. So that should explain a few things to my regular listeners.
I completely understand this.
Exactly.
Oh, it's awesome.
So the other podcast at the time I had really been enjoying was BS Free Witchcraft, hosted by Trey Dorn. And I was like, I would love to do something like that, but sort of from a secular angle, like a practical witchy angle, because Trey is Wiccan.
Okay.
But they have just a wonderful grasp of modern witchcraft history and the just sort of the little fiddly bits that we don't really ever think about. It's like, oh, we see things in, the lessons we're taught about witchcraft and all the stuff we take at face value. There's more behind it. And Trey is so wonderful at sort of like gently, for the most part, picking that apart and being like, well, yes, but maybe let's get this bullshit out of the way. So they're just a lovely, lovely, fabulous person. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to do something like that. I'm going to give it a try, see where it goes. If it doesn't, outlast lockdown, at least I'll have had some fun. And we'll just see if I can do it.
Mm-hmm.
So I did. And then I got an email from Trey Dorn and said, hey, do you want to be on the Nerd and Tie podcast network? And I was like, twist my arm.
That's amazing.
Yes.
So what was your
now
setup like? Like what'd you have? Like
I actually still have my original setup, barring the new computer, which I had to get because the old one kind of burnt out. It's very simple. I just have a laptop. I have Audacity. I have just an old pair of over-ear headphones that kind of block out noise and make it easier for me to hear if I'm too nasal or if there's, noise in the background or whatever. And then just a little stand mic with a built-in pop filter. Excuse me, a little USB like plug and play thing. And that's it.
That's fantastic.
It's very simple. I have a desk in the other room that faces into a corner. I usually put like a cushion behind the computer when I'm recording just to like cancel out some of the echo and the reverb. And then the rest is all like messing with the noise reduction feature in Audacity and hoping that it sounds good. So from what I hear, it's working. So
I enjoyed them. I listened to a few. I listened to when you came back from break. and a couple others. You have a lot of topics, man.
Mm-hmm.
You can talk about a lot of things.
Well, I have like a brainstorm pile, as high as my neck. It's I went into it thinking, okay, well, if I'm going to do this, I'm going to do this right. I'm not just going to jump into it and then, 6 months from now, I have to stop because I've utterly run out of ideas. I don't know what the heck else I'm going to do. Uh, so I was like, okay, let me try and think of, let's start with 25. That seems like a good number. Let's think of 25 things that I could talk about. I still haven't made my way through all of the original ones.
No, because
Uh,
there's branches. Oh, I could talk about
exactly.
that. Oh, that. Oh, there's
Exactly.
that.
And timely topics come up.
Uh-huh.
Um, I should mention I was actually on BS Free Witchcraft before I started my podcast, which is how I met Trey. Uh, and then they were like, "Hey, come and live on the network," and I was like, oh, "Senpai, thank you."
That's so very cool.
Senpai has
Again,
noticed me.
to be
Uh,
to be automatically on a network, because that's kind of a difficult thing to do, right? Like, because
yeah,
I listen to a lot of podcasts too, and so it's always like, the Exactly Right podcast, or or
mhm,
network, stuff like that. So it's neat to
yeah,
hear of other ones popping up and witchy ones.
yes.
Tell me the name of the group again.
It's the Nerd and Tie Podcast Network. They have a lot of shows on there. There's two witchy shows. There's Hex Positive, which is me, and there's BS Free Witchcraft, which is Trey's show. If you like my show, you're gonna love BS Free Witchcraft. It's just a marvelous show. Trey is my favorite lovable curmudgeon. Uh, they're just wonderful. Their TikTok is amazing.
Okay.
And they also do some convention news and basic nerd type news. There's a This Day in History with Trey,
Oh,
and
that's fun. I like all of
yeah,
that.
and there's a number of live play uh, tabletop RPG podcasts as well, including Stormwood and Associates, which is really fun to listen to. So yes, Trey has a TikTok.
They have a
It's
TikTok. What's their
awesome.
TikTok, do you know?
It's just it's either Trey Dorn or Trey Gorn with a G. I can't remember off the top of my head.
Hmm.
But yeah, if you go in my most recent videos, they've left comments, and you can follow them from that.
And where would people find all of that? What's your contact info? Where do people find you?
Well, if you look up my name, Bree NicGarran, but other side. There it is. This right here.
Yeah, you got
Camera
to.
snack.
It's not mirrored. It's weird.
If you look me up by this name, you can find me under Bree NicGarran under most social media platforms. I'm on, oh goodness, Twitter, TikTok, Instagram, WordPress, YouTube, Redbubble. I think that's it for now. Oh, and Facebook as well. And I'm Bree Landwalker on Tumblr. That's the only one that's different. That's the OG. That's the original.
Bree Landwalker.
Mm-hmm. Yep, it's actually the name of my old LARP character, uh, which is how I met my husband.
Okay, so what were you?
Um, Fittingly, uh, she's uh, she's a career healer. She's an alchemist, and she is like a really grouchy version of the Lorax. She's a mage that belongs to an order that works for tree spirits. So sort of a druid, but not quite.
Got you.
Hmm.
Love it.
Yep. And that was my handle for the longest time, but when it came time to start, publishing and doing things professionally, it was like, well, the word Landwalker is kind of copyrighted to the LARP companies, and Audria Productions Incorporated, wonderful people out of Hamburg, Pennsylvania. Um,
Little
Also
LARP
on
plug.
Facebook. Yes. Just
Feel
look up
free to plug
XPI
anything.
anywhere.
Plug
They're great.
everything. Plug anything. This is a platform for plugging.
Hell yes.
Can't get away from it. You just can't get away
Oh
from it.
yeah.
But seriously,
I will plug the hell out of them. I love them.
Anybody you want.
Yeah, but when the time came for me to publish, I'm like, I don't want to get into like legal issues with any of that, so I had to find a different surname. And NicGarran is Gaelic for daughter of the Grove,
Oh,
hence
wow.
Grove daughter.
Yay.
And that's sort of the closest to like the
That's
spirit of
cool.
what a landwalker is that I could come up with. I'm like, that'll work. That'll work.
That's pretty cool.
Yes.
I thought it was your real last name.
No. Bree isn't my real first name either, but at least not according to my birth certificate, but I disagree with that heavily.
I'm sorry, what did you say you disagree with?
I disagree with my birth certificate.
Oh, well, that's absolutely fine by me. Fuck that thing.
Yeah. I was like, you know what? This name is all well and good. My parents picked it. They certainly seem to like it, but I didn't really. So that's one of the lovely things about being a witch is you can choose your own name.
You can. I've never been able to settle on one. And so I'm stuck with Tiffany forever and ever and ever. It's a fine name. It's
a fine name.
It's fine. If I were to choose a name, I would choose Stella. I like the word. I like the name Stella.
Yes.
It's always been my favorite.
No one even consulted you.
I know. I'm mad about that. That's okay. And the last name is my stupid fault because I took my second husband's last name, which was a terrible idea, and now I'm stuck with it because now I have kids with this last name and I can't shake it, and so whatever. It's fine. Yeah, it's all fine. It actually Boggins means of the bog, so it's not terrible, but
that's a great name.
It's a fine name.
Great. It's whimsical. I like it.
I've actually had people think that it's a fake last name, which is really funny. I'm like, no, real. But yeah, I think your name is awesome. I like your name. I've actually been saying it all day. NicGarran all day. I feel like you're my new beau. I've just been writing your name out all day. But it's just, it's when you're saying somebody that when you're saying somebody's name that you've never met before and you've never heard, so I actually listened to the podcast again just to get like a little.
Yep. And that's why I say it every introduction, just so people know. So there's no confusion.
That's right. Yeah, I say it in every one of my introductions too, just because it's, I think about going back to, I've been thinking about going back to a podcast because I used to do one and I really liked it. And it's not as nerve-wracking as this shit. Like being live is hard. Some days I'm totally fine. Some days no anxiety. And some days I'm like, I need to lay on the floor for 10 minutes before the show starts.
Yeah.
Because, I think people think I'm an extrovert and I'm really not.
Same.
One of those introverted extroverts.
I'm an introvert who will info dump at the slightest provocation, which is why podcasting works well for me. And just for all the folks out there who think that I'm all clever and well-spoken and stuff, editing covers a multitude of sins. Yeah.
It does. I miss that too. I missed that part. You had mentioned Audacity. Because I'd used that before and it was fun to do. I felt like I knew stuff about what I was doing. Whereas, man, with this thing, like I start some things off and then I'm like, whoa, here we go. And then that's it. There's no looking at it afterwards.
Yes. Husband just got home.
Hello.
Yes, dear.
Oh.
Hi.
I was asking.
How did everything go with the armor?
It's fine.
Good.
I got to trim it a bit.
Good. Please entertain the cats. Thank you. Although Havoc might be making an appearance here at some point. He likes to walk along the back here.
I love animal visits.
Oh, you guys! Well, you got to see Penny
I
Um,
did. I got to see Penny in the beginning. Yep.
yeah. Anybody who follows me on Instagram will have seen them. I have two little orange kitty cats. There's Havoc and there's Penny, and they're my babies.
I love
They're,
those names.
yeah.
You're good with names.
Yes. So speaking of wonderful people and animals that we have in our lives, that's my husband who just walked in, and I do believe I promised you a story.
You did. You how you met. Yes.
Well, we met LARPing for one thing, up in Pennsylvania. He's lived here in Virginia his whole life, and we just happened to be attending the same event, and our characters got to be friends, and then we got to be friends. The bit I like to tell everyone is, he turned to me during GameStop one afternoon and said, "So what's your real name?"
Is that how you
Uh,
know?
so it was sometime later. It was, I think, 2012 or 2013, somewhere in there. 2012, November of 2012. November is always a very auspicious month for me for
Sounds
many,
like it.
many reasons. Yeah. October and November, like fall is my time. That's my jam. Like those 3 months, it's like I'm on. So November 2012, I had just gotten out of a long-term relationship. And I was like, well, that was nice and things didn't end terribly, but I'm really just sort of fed up with the internet dating game. Um, I'm really ready to settle down. I'm looking for something long term. I'm tired of temping, you know, because that's what it felt like.
Yeah.
So I did a spell, and I mentioned back in the beginning, Practical Magic is one of my favorite witchy movies and will always be. I did sort of a home style variation of Amas Veritas with the flower petals and the candles and the list. hmm And I wrote everything down. I'm like, well, if I'm gonna cast a spell and ask the universe to bring me, not a specific person, but the person who is right for me, whoever that might be.
Right.
So
Based on your
no names,
list.
yeah, bare physical description, just things I appreciate, and then just like personal qualities
Mm-hmm.
and like circumstances and values. And I filled a page, and I was like, you know what? If I'm gonna ask for what I want, I may as well get everything
That's
I
right.
want.
Get in there.
Do not settle. hmm Yes, you deserve everything. Don't settle. So I do all that. I did it over the course of an entire week, leading up from the quarter moon to the full moon. I was meticulous.
Hey,
um,
man. You want something. You get that
hmm
recipe right.
Damn Skippy. And parts of it I planned, and parts of it were just like what felt right in the moment, and it all kind of came together beautifully. So, January of the following year, I went to a little function, like a little like off-season get-together with my friends from the LARP company. And here's my old battle buddy uh out there on the dance floor, and all of a sudden is, where is this spark coming from? Holy crap, what? Hey. So
Well, you dancing. So that's huge.
yeah, we spent the whole evening together, and then uh we were like, well, this is long distance, but let's give it a shot. Let's see if... Yes, dear, I'm talking about you. Are your ears burning? He's like, I heard you spent the weekend with somebody. Who the fuck? No, you, dear. It's you. I love you, dork.
Oh my God, that's awesome.
It's a term of affection in our household.
Oh
So
yeah.
we decided to do the long distance thing, and about a year later, we moved in together. I moved the 300 and some miles from Pennsylvania to here, And then April 2016, we went to Ireland with his family, and he proposed at St. Bridget's Well in Kildare.
Oh my
Style.
God.
She's my patron.
Way to bring it, friend.
Mm-hmm.
Holy crap.
Right. Sorry, he doesn't have any siblings.
Well done, sir. Well done, sir.
Right. Yeah.
Well done, you. Well done, you. Don't.
But the really funny part was like when we were a couple months into dating, I was like, well, this is going really well. Like, wow, he's wonderful. Like in ways that I did not expect. And then it got me thinking. I was like, a lot of this is sounding familiar.
I read this somewhere. I wrote this somewhere.
Where's that spell page? Flipping through, and I'm just kind of going down the checklist and like, yeah, oh yeah. Crap.
Oh,
So
awesome.
I brought the page with me the next time, and as it turns out, I did get everything I wanted. Yeah.
That's so
Literally
amazing.
the only thing that was different was the age. He's 7 years younger than me. Make all the jokes you want, it works. And
I'm not here to judge you.
yeah, I thought he was older than he was, and he thought that I was younger than I was. I was 30 at the time, so yeah. But yeah, our assumptions met in the middle, so it still kind of counts. And we've been together for almost a decade, and we just celebrated our 5th anniversary.
That's amazing.
So I'm here to tell you that consensual love magic works. And also that sometimes witchcraft will bring you what you want in very unexpected ways.
It's a lovely thing.
Yeah. And I am publishing that spell.
Damn
Damn it if it worked for me.
Excellent.
Actually, I believe I put out the draft version of it that I have. Oops.
Betty says you don't look 30 now. She's right. She's totally right. You a baby.
You're all very kind. I'm about to turn 39 in a week.
Dang, you look great.
Yeah.
Look
Thank you.
You're welcome.
For that, I thank my mother. Oh yeah. Yeah. All the women on my mother's side of the family, they look like 10 years younger than they actually are. We are blessed.
That's awesome.
Yes. But I believe I put out. Yes, I did. Last February on the podcast, I had the little mini-sodes in between the main episodes. Last February, there's a Witch Ways episode called Apple of My Eye. That's
Okay.
the one. That's the spell.
You hear that, guys? Apple of my eye.
Yes.
Last February, you said?
Last February. Mm-hmm.
So, okay.
2021.
There you go. There you go, guys. Go find it.
Just watch the notes of that go like.
It's funny because that's what I tell people when they're like, I want to find this a new job or a partner or something like that. I'm like, make a list. What you want. Start at the top. Absolutely. What are your deal breakers? Put them right at the top. Right. And then get real specific. Get weirdly specific. Right. Like just, all the things.
Mm-hmm. And I did get weirdly specific. Like down to like eye color and hobbies. Must love cats.
Some things are deal breakers.
Yeah.
Not liking animals, man. That's a thing that freaks me out. My daughter, she just turned 15. She's starting to be interested in people. And this dude came over, and the first thing he said was he didn't like animals of any kind. And I'm like, whoa, red flags. I'm like, get him out of here.
Soul check.
Right? What is wrong with you, kid?
Don't like animals. Get out.
At all. He made a point of saying at all. Like none of them. Like
nope. nope, nope. Fountains of nope.
Here's all this
Yeah.
nope for you. Yeah.
Yeah. Like, I don't trust anyone who says they don't like cats. I mean, there's yes, there's dog people and there's cat people, but if someone is like vehemently like, "Oh, I hate cats. I can't stand cats." I'm like, "I will never trust you."
It's
Yeah.
weird to say you hate an entire
Yeah.
species of anything.
Yeah.
It's just,
That's just odd. It's like, yeah, you can say like, you know,
it's
like me personally, like I don't like spiders. They make me intensely uncomfortable, but I don't hate them.
right. Yeah, I don't. I'm happy for them to share space with me, but I don't want them on me. That's my thing. I
Exactly.
just,
Exactly.
we're good. But I save them all the time. God, I
Mhm.
found one the other day that I was like, I'm gonna kill this thing trying to save it. It was like trying to save like a piece of thread, like
Mhm.
on a bubble. Like I'm like, oh,
Yeah.
it was so tiny, and he was in the sink, and I'm like, you gotta get out of there. I know. So I had to like keep putting things around him until he would crawl onto one of them because I couldn't scoop him. He was so fragile. So I just kept waiting, and then he eventually got on. And then I'm like, oh my god, just walking across the room is gonna blow him off this page. I'm like, oh.
Yeah.
I finally got him onto a plant. And
Good.
then, like 2 hours later, I rubbed past that plant. I'm like, oh shit. I have no idea if I killed him or not, but I did everything I could.
Oh, I'm sure he was fine. I'm sure he's
Yeah.
fine. The second he was on there, he probably scampered away.
I
But
know. The
yeah,
thing is, they're supposed to be best at hiding, but when they get caught in
yeah,
sinks, well, there's not much they can do.
yeah.
Casey,
We do have a rule in our house that the only bug of any kind that doesn't get smashed is spiders. Spiders are always carefully removed because to kill a spider in your house is bad luck. That's a thing he grew up with.
I don't smash
So
them.
yeah, so he gets to be in charge of the removal. Um,
Casey said the
we
pet thing is pretty important, which I totally get. Yeah, yeah.
yeah,
No animals are going anywhere for somebody to
yeah.
want them.
Yeah, if someone ever tells you, oh, it's either the dog goes or I do, it's like bye. So long.
Yeah.
Secret weapon.
Is that 5 hour energy drink?
Yep. It's what keeps
Animalism.
me going.
This. Yeah, it's weird, man. Just be like, no, get all these animals away from me. I was telling Bree before the show that I got to hold a wolf puppy today.
Yes, so
My
jealous.
my friend has he's like a wolf ambassador trainer guy, and so whenever he has a new puppy, he takes it around to socialize it. And so I got to hold Hugo. Oh, I walked him around the shop and showed him all the stuff, and we talked
Oh,
about
baby.
things. And he's a nuzzler and a kisser. He's like his whole body's only like this big right now, and his
Oh
head's
God.
like this big. Oh my god,
God. Aw.
I want to bite him. But yeah, he's amazing. And the wolves will be at the dark market. We're gonna have my wolf ambassador people will
So
be there
cheap.
with wolves and foxes. Yeah.
Oh, I love foxes.
I know,
I love
I know.
foxes
And he
so
raises
much.
wolves and foxes, and I'm very excited. Yeah. Sometimes, yeah. So one day will be a wolf, and one day will be foxes
Nice.
at the dark market. Very exciting. Betty, so the spiders are your responsibility, huh? Yeah, I don't know. I don't mind any of the crawlies. Stuff I put outside. Stink bugs outside every time. Can't stand them. But
Yeah.
house centipedes, they eat stuff that's bad, including like infestation type stuff. So like
Ugh.
I'm willing to live with those and not live with like fleas or any other gross things that I'm not even going to mention because I don't want to talk about them.
Ugh. If it has more than 4 legs, I just don't trust it. I don't know what it is.
But 8 is better. Well, I
So
like
multiple
them.
4, it kind of counts.
I
I
like
don't know. I do enjoy the big orb weavers that
oh,
build their nests outside
Deadly
of their windows in the
October.
fall. They're gorgeous. They're no lie. They're this big.
Yeah.
They're that's too
Yeah,
big.
yeah. And their web is like,
Hmm.
they will fill up a whole they love the spaces like right in front of your outside lights,
Yep.
right? Because then they are the last line of defense before the bug hits that light. But yeah, I love them.
I love them too, just as long as they're outside the window.
Oh yeah, yeah. Well, they're not interested in being inside, really. They like the garden.
Oof.
Yeah, I feel like my parents would have like this. My parents' house looked like a kind of scary haunted house anyway. They weren't big into home repair or maintenance in any way. Like seriously. But every year we would get like this monstrous web, and every day he would rebuild it, and it just really made the house perfect. Oh, it's a little cherry on top.
It contributes to the aesthetic.
It really did. Yeah. Yeah. My house looks like a witchy house, but like, yeah, my weird stuff is on purpose. My parents was like abandoned haunted house kind of thing. Mine's more like witch's cottage. Both scary, but one's more intentional than the other.
I live in an apartment. I can't claim any of that yet.
Fair enough. Well,
someday it's goals.
You get there.
Juro spiders? Do I want to know?
Mm-hmm.
I feel like I'm going to be terrified.
I'm going to look it up real quick.
I feel like I'm going to regret this.
I'm not going to show you if it's really bad.
I'm going to go ahead and terrify myself.
Oh, they look like the orb weavers.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh.
Okay. Did you find something bad?
Oh, the parachute things. Yeah. We
Wait, what?
Yeah. Yeah, there was this whole thing about there were these giant spiders that were supposed to like parachute into areas of the US this year. Knock on wood, we haven't seen any of them yet. I really hope we don't. Because
I'm just feeling buggy. What are you doing?
Yeah, that would be the size of my palm. It's like no, that's too big. I will never go outside again. Ever.
And what's this about them parachuting them in? What does that mean?
Yeah,
I don't like any of that.
They're due to infest the East Coast. Oh, great. So where I live, wonderful. Thanks. Well, they also said that we were going to get murder hornets here, and thankfully we never did. So
yeah, I feel like that was just a headline grab at this point. Also, we're supposed to have aliens now. I don't believe any of this bullshit. Shouldn't things have changed at some point if we had alien stuff? I don't know.
You'd think.
At least being more talked about, I don't know.
Or maybe they did and we just didn't notice because it was like, here's a new thing that we came up with. Who knows? But yellow, blue, and pink.
Wait a minute. What the fuck?
No.
Wait a minute. Okay, that's what I was afraid you were saying. And then when she said parachuting them in as in like they're infesting us. No, what the fuck? No. We're less afraid of aliens now because now we know about this parachuting fucking thing. We're back on this. This is I need to see what the fuck. All right. What?
Maybe the aliens brought the spiders. Who knows?
From USA Today, ballooning spiders.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's
the colorful spider's length is 6 to 8 inches. Oh, but only the females get that big. Yeah.
Yeah.
Spider is venomous, but doesn't pose a threat to humans.
That's not the point.
Still not interested. Oh,
oh boy.
Does anybody want to see this picture? Do you want to see it?
I regret it.
It's right. I won't show you them.
They're big. They're big. No, thank you.
Oh God. Like feet across?
Yeah, I think so.
Oh my God.
Nope.
Yeah, no, I don't want to wrestle with that thing. That's too big. That is the size of a hand. Fuck that bullshit.
No. How about no?
Thanks for freaking us out a whole bunch. All right, well, all right. What else you got? What other plague of bullshit do you have to throw at me?
Ugh,
Bring it on. Bring it on.
listen, just because I view, the interconnectedness of magic and energy and everything across the world as a big spider web doesn't mean I want this.
Is that how you visualize it? You visualize like a big net?
It's fine, Gene. It's fine. Yes.
No,
Uh,
we liked it. We like to be scared a little bit. Come on.
yeah, a little bit, a little bit, a little bit. But yes, I'm told that that's something that's fairly common across people who have sort of like a nature-based view of witchcraft and magic. When I'm doing a thing, it feels like a big web,
Uh-huh.
or
You can
like,
feel the tensions and pulls and vibrations and things.
yes, yes, yes. Or sometimes it feels more like a big series of sort of like tree roots,
Mm-hmm.
or like a big mush what's the mushroom word?
Mycelia.
That's the one. Yes, it's just like it's a big web of interconnected living something, whether it's energy or tissue or actual threads, I don't know. I just know that,
Like a nervous
you
system.
know, yeah, when I'm doing a thing, I can kind of go pling and it goes where it needs to go. So, yeah, but that doesn't mean I like spiders.
But you can respect them. And,
I respect them over there.
and that's fair.
Way
That's
over there.
fair. I don't like scorpions. I don't want one of those near me. That would freak me out
Oof.
a lot. I can't even think about living in places that have them.
Mm. No,
No.
no, no.
No, the first time I ever saw one like in a movie or show, I was just like, that's not real, is it? That's not a real thing. Those don't exist, do they? Feel like, oh yeah.
Right.
No, fuck that. No. No.
Mhm.
I
There's a
thought
lot of them
we
about.
already had it bad enough.
No.
Ugh, it's terrible. Uh, I often think of the magical field. So it depends, right? Like sometimes I think about it almost liquidy,
Hmm.
almost not quite gel either. But like a membrane-ish type of a thing.
Yeah.
Um, but I also can't help but picture the Simpsons episode where Homer was tripping and things just kept coming out of nowhere. That I can't shake that. And a lot of times when I'm doing magic, I will do that's the visualization I'll have, which is like to manifest this thing out of like the grid that just bloop and then becomes a thing. So I think is visualization a big part of your practice?
To a point, yeah. I'm. Are you hearing the squeaking?
I do.
Penny, what?
The dogs are cracking
Penny,
up. They're both like, "What's
my
what's
goodness.
that?" Like, is there a cat in here? There's not.
So for everyone who can hear it, that's Penny sitting over here howling for some silly reason. What? You're a silly, silly creature. Oh, you goofy feline.
Lupa and Maeve are very excited about the cat. They're just like, what is happening?
She's very sweet. She's a little baby, but just no brains, just floof. Oh, but what were we talking about? Visualization, yes.
Visualization
Um,
just as part of a practice or as part of a like energy working or spell working even.
we demand to see Penny. If Penny comes back, I will bring her on camera so you can see her cute
I
fuzziness.
demand to see your animals. How dare you be in the same room with them and not
She's reminding us of her
yes,
importance. Yes,
yes.
she is. I help too. Meow.
Yeah, she needed to be on the camera check before too. I need to see how I
Yeah.
look. Let me up there.
You look fine, dear. Uh, so, just check my whiskers. Oh, she's so silly. But yes, visualization. Yes, visualization is a big part of what I do, but I have to do it with a focus. Um, ADHD representing for all of my witches with brains that don't always like to cooperate. Uh, I can't sit down and do like pure meditation or pure visualization. I need a guide of
Mm,
some kind, whether it's guided meditation or a piece of music or something that I'm focusing
oh,
on,
love
or
it.
just having a fidget. I'm very, very big on having a fidget, because if my hands have something to do, then my brain can focus. So a lot of times, if I'm doing something that requires visualization, I'm also making something. Uh, in my books, I talk about these things I make called witch webs, and it's basically just an embroidery hoop and a bunch of floss or twine or whatever you have handy, and you just weave. You weave until it feels right. And that I have found is a wonderful focus for when I'm trying to visualize the outcome of a spell and can't quite get it to stick. It's like, no, I can weave it into this thing and it'll work. And then my hands are busy and it works.
That's awesome.
Hmm.
That's real. Because I know that textile work and like crocheting and embroidery, needlepoint, all of these things, they really lend themselves to the concentration that it takes to do spell work.
Yes.
You know, to do effective, like spending your time really focusing on this one thing.
Hmm.
Somebody, they just sent me a book that I actually just got. Hold on one second. Uh, there's a book called Fiber Magic.
Oh, I love that book.
Yeah, they
Yeah.
sent it to me. I think they but yeah, when they sent it, I got a little thing of yarn and
Hmm.
a wooden little hook. So awesome.
Yeah. Crocheting is a marvelous thing as well. Pretty much any fiber art, crocheting, knitting, sewing, embroidery, cross stitch, whatever you can think of, really. Um, Anything that is repetitive with that you do with your hands. This is why a lot of people like to do magic when they're cooking, because
Hmm.
it also involves a lot of repetitive movement. You know, chopping vegetables, mixing things together. But you're
Stirring. All
focused.
the stirring.
Oh, so much stirring. Love it. I love a good stir. Uh, but yeah, and I have found that any sort of like repetitive thing that kind of keeps your hands busy. Sure, felting. Why not?
Well, yeah, felting for
Yeah,
sure.
it can be a marvelous focus
Careful your fingers.
for spell work, and then you can make a literal witchy craft. You can put your spell into this object, whether it's a decoration or a practical item or a meal or what have you. And then
Yeah.
you have a thing that has your spell in it, and it's great.
Man, the craft part is what
Mhm.
I really enjoy, like embroidering making a bag from scratch, embroidering
Yes.
the thing for what you're doing, and that part.
So
Or
satisfying.
yeah, or like really getting in and like painting that whole cube of whatever the fuck all those
Oh,
letters.
yes.
Oh my
Oh,
God.
yes. Drawing and painting are marvelous for that too. I can't draw at all, but I do like getting like wooden boxes or wooden birdhouses and painting those.
Mhm. Mhm.
So,
Yeah,
yeah.
I paint terribly, but it's just it's that's not the point, right? It doesn't matter if it's good.
Yeah.
It's just a matter of putting some paint on a goddamn canvas with a brush and making some shapes that feel good to you.
Mhm.
That's all that matters. So,
Yes.
but yeah. Yeah, and I love I've been crocheting since I was a wee babe, and I really love it.
Same.
So, and it was your
Hmm.
in your list of activities earlier,
Yep.
which I was like,
Yep.
"Oh, crocheting. Hmm."
Yeah, I've been doing that since I was about 9, I want to
Mhm.
say. Yeah. Hmm.
Who taught
And I
you?
still do it. Actually, this big old blanket here behind me is one of the things I made.
Yay.
Yeah, it took me a couple of years, but that was the blanket that I made for my wedding bed.
Hmm.
And
Oh, that's nice.
it has some stuff stitched into it. Just, you know, the standard like healthy, wealthy, happy, safe, and a long happy life together. And it's warm. It's so
So
warm.
beautiful.
And it's heavy. It's great.
I love those big blankets, those big Afghans. They're so good.
I have made entirely too many of them.
I made one for each of my kids when they were born.
Hmm.
And I think they all still have them. Anna, my middle child, though, like hers was her, it was her blanca. for a long
Mhm.
time. Like it was just
Oh,
her Blanca.
her Whoopi, yeah.
Yeah. She called it
That's
Blanca and it
sweet.
was adorable. But yeah, and I've had to repair it numerous times. Like create a whole little square
Yeah.
with yarn that's close enough to what it was, and then like sewing that on and keeping it
Yeah.
going. And I love those parts of it now. They're my favorite parts of the blanket, where they're like this weird patch.
Yeah, because it's like, oh, this is where it was well loved.
Yeah, right. This is where she
Hmm.
rubbed it the most because she had that thing. She was a blanket rubber.
Same, same. I was as a kid too. Yeah, I had one of the ones with like the satin edge, and I just wore it all the way off.
Oh my God.
Hmm.
My cousin, she always had to have a satin edge blanket. I remember that. Those things.
Still do.
I was I was actually a severe thumb sucker when I was a kid, like right up until kindergarten, where you have to break it, otherwise it's super bad. Totally caught myself sucking my thumb during a couple of like movies that they'd have you watch, right? Like it's all dark, and I'm like, oh God, when did this happen?
Hmm.
God,
Yeah,
whoop, not doing that anymore. But yeah, it was we have to self-soothe, it's part of the
yeah, yeah. I actually, getting deep and personal, I actually had the same problem when I was a kid, and it took me it took me a few years into elementary school to actually get completely over it. And it was stuff like that, like catching myself doing it in public at like, you know, moments of inattention.
right.
That it was like,
How
nope,
did that even get there? Like I didn't even
yeah,
make that decision, and there it is. I mean, I
yeah,
did it at
hmm,
home pretty regularly for a couple of years in, but at school, like at kindergarten, like that's where I learned how to control where to do it. And then you're like, oh well, my aunt and uncle, my mom was always really cool about it. She didn't care because she felt as long as I was doing it, I was comfortable, which meant that I was comfortable around her because I was allowed to do
true.
it. And my aunt and uncle, they hated it, and so when they would watch me, they would do shit like put my thumb in like pickle juice and then like olive juice, and I'm like, suckers, I love this shit. This is the best. Oh, can I get more pickle juice on this? Really good.
I haven't learned my lesson yet.
I just want more. You're gonna have to load me up. But I think that sometimes they develop those things because they need them, and I think that pulling them out from under them or forcing them to get rid of them is just so cruel. We grow out of it.
Yeah, it's like, as
Okay, maybe
long as
not.
it's not
Maybe
causing like a physical problem,
right. Betty and
it's
daughter stuff.
it's all.
She holds your ear. That's adorable. She's like, Mom, come here. Mom.
That's cute. That's precious. I was just picturing like the earlobe thing. I know some people do that,
Yeah,
but like
yeah,
on
yeah. Like,
somebody else's ear.
yeah, Mom, come here. I need you. I need you.
That's
Mom, come over
cute.
here. I need you right now. I don't have to.
I'm just picturing like college entrance exams. You have to be there by the desk. I got this. I got this.
You're gonna have to make her a fake one, Betty. You're gonna just have to make you're gonna have to make a not a whoopee. What do they call it? Binky. You have to make her an ear
Yeah.
binky. Or I don't know. Probably needs a whole new word.
Oh, that's cute. Havoc, where'd you go? I could have sworn I saw him. Nope. Nope.
So what are you excited about right now? What are you working on?
Ooh. Well, let's see. I'm working on a new series for my Patreon, which is actually the
Okay.
other place you can find me. Um,
Plug.
Plug patreon.com/Bree NicGarran. On brand. Always be branding.
Smart.
um, yeah, I'm starting a new monthly series there. Actually, this month, I believe the first episode premieres, and it's called the Stardust Sessions.
Okay.
Uh, and it's sort of an offshoot of how much I enjoy witchy history. And it's me and my good bud Lozzie Stardust from over in Essex. Uh, we've done some guest episodes together before, and we were both at the SAS Witch virtual convention last year for like skeptical, atheist, science-minded witches. It was a wonderful time. Whole lot of really cool things got discussed. Uh,
Sasquatch?
yeah, Sassy witches.
All right.
Ooh.
One of my questions later is what events are you doing? So we'll get into that. We'll come back to that. All right.
There we go. And so we're sitting down and we're doing this Patreon exclusive series that's all about like witchy and witchcraft adjacent history. And we're starting with a local legend, Grace Sherwood, the Witch of Pungo. And we're telling her story. We have plans to take on King James and the North Berwick trials. We're thinking of discussing the drama fest that was the Hermetic Order of the Golden Dawn. Oh yeah. But we have the most fun. And
Oh,
Lozzie is an amazing person. I absolutely love
I
her.
want to tune in for that bullshit. That sounds
And she has like amazing banter. You put the two of us there together and it's like, is this one person or is this two? We
Aw.
can't tell. We have actually been forbidden from being in the same time zone because something will go boom.
So it's online.
That's
So
why the
it's
gods put us
virtual.
on opposite sides of the ocean. But that's the latest project. I am also working on a second volume of the Sisters Grimoire.
Okay.
That's been in production for 3 years. It'll get done eventually, I swear.
That doesn't sound like something you're excited about.
I'm excited about it. It's just a lot of work.
That sounds backburnered to me.
A little bit. I try and work on it a little bit every week. It's like, okay, I'm going to do 1 or 2 new spells every week. I was actually just in the prompts folder today going, "Ooh, I have a new idea." So
Okay.
it's there. I've got
Slow
a
build.
LARP event coming up this weekend. My birthday is next week.
Woo.
Yeah. So lots of stuff to look forward to. Plus the weather here is warming up and it's going to be looking like it's going to be a beautiful spring.
Oh, that's awesome. Have you guys
Mhm.
been had yucky weather? Because we've had yucky weather recently. It's been fucking terrible.
It's been mercurial.
Mm,
It's been a little
it's
all over the place.
humid.
Yeah, it's like last week it was, in the mid 80s, and then this weekend we had, a frost warning. Oh, thank you. Ah,
Yeah, it's the same here. It's like called freezing. So it was 40 yesterday. It's supposed to be
mhm.
like 80 tomorrow.
Yeah, it
What the fuck?
doesn't make any damn sense.
Where's my 60? Where's my 60?
Mhm. Yes. Yes, I just want the nice, like, middle of the road, easy spring temperatures. And we're supposed to have those in April in Virginia. We're supposed to have where it's, in the 60s and the 70s up
Yeah.
through May, and then things get bullshit hot until September.
Ah, the East Coast is just so perfect.
Mhm. And and
Yeah.
and I'm a Pennsylvania native. I'm used to actually having 4 freaking seasons.
Yeah.
So, here
Yeah.
we're lucky if we have 3.
And it definitely being a little colder too. Virginia is definitely a change in
Yeah, it's a lot more humid.
latitude.
Yeah. Plus, we're in the middle of like swamp territory. So you walk outside and it's like hitting a wall.
Oh yeah,
So,
yeah. Yeah, yeah. You got gators? Do you have gators in Virginia? Or is that
no,
too north? Too
no,
north?
that little further south. A little further
Okay.
south. Yeah.
I
We
was
got
actually
snakes
just
though.
what's that?
We got snakes though.
How do
Snakes
you
and
feel about snakes?
coyotes. Yep.
Yeah, how do you feel about snakes? Are they like good
Um,
spiders?
just shifting a little. Sorry. Ankle decided to go, oh no.
Get comfy,
Uh,
please.
yes. Oh, hi. Oh. Y'all are about to get your wish. Hang on. Come here,
Yay!
you.
She's
Come
like,
here.
"Oh, were you getting comfy? Was that for
No.
me?"
What do you. Really? Really? Come here. You're sitting there meowing up a storm. Come and say hi. No.
She says no. She's a diva, yeah.
Come here. No. You came in to yell at me. Okay, fine. She'll be back.
Well, Bree, I'm going to let you get back to your life with kitties and wonderful babies. So tell the people once again where they can find you.
Okay, you can find me as Bree Landwalker on Tumblr. You can find me as Bree NicGarran pretty much everywhere else. Twitter, TikTok, Instagram, WordPress, YouTube, Patreon, Redbubble, all over the place. You can find my books and all of my various wares on my WordPress shop, which is breenicgarran.wordpress.com/shop. It's the Willow Wings Witch Shop. It's my own little enterprise. Yeah. My books are also on Amazon, but if you don't want to give any money to Jeff Bezos, you can also buy them directly from me.
Or WitchLab has them. Hey.
Or from fabulous people like Tiffany and her friends.
You can also stop in and say hi to us and stuff like that. But yeah, all over the place.
Yes.
Wonderful.
Yes, and you can find Hex Positive on your favorite podcatcher and on the Nerd and Tie Podcast Network.
Which sounds awesome. Thank you so much. Thanks to you so much for coming and being on the show and sharing all of your wonderful weirdness with our weirdness. We love weird mingling. It's wonderful.
Yes, weird keeps life interesting.
It does. I can't imagine. I hate being bored more than anything.
We are the weirdos, mister.
I love the weirdness. All right. I love you all. Thanks for watching us, and I hope you all have an amazing evening. Good night, everybody. Bye. Bye.